Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 7th meeting of Two Rivers Entrepreneur Connection, or TREC. We are a monthly group that meets. We are entrepreneurs, mentors, advisors, and others, and we like to educate and engage each other and connect. Our organizing team picked the name TREC because we know that the road to being a successful entrepreneur is not a sprint, it's a trek. And we are here to be a strong partner on your entrepreneurial journey. Everyone's welcome. Meetings are open to anyone interested in hearing, supporting, or connecting with the area's entrepreneurs. There is no attendance requirements. There are no monthly membership fees. Our gatherings are run by entrepreneurs and are for entrepreneurs. Each month we will feature two presenters, one that has been in business for a few years, and maybe one that's a little bit more seasoned. Or that's emerging. Meetings are the first Tuesday of each month at 9 o'clock. While this meeting is being held virtually, we hope to move to in-person soon. We are planning virtually again next month, and hopefully this summer we'll start in-person meetings. The session is being recorded. We plan sharing it on social media, so just keep that in mind when you are asking questions. Please mute yourself if you have any background noise. And I'd like to introduce our TREC guides. I am Angie Wesley. Mike Berry is on our team. Beth Nelson, Brian Carlson, John Sievertson, Kendall Dehan, Kelsey Broading, and Michelle Landsberg. Sorry. Michelle, did you have any announcements today?
Well, I just want to remind people of just a couple of things. One is the Launch Minnesota grants that are available. There are certain eligibility criteria, but I just kind of want to keep putting this in front of people because there are grants of up to $35,000 for qualifying businesses. There has to be some type of innovative element to the business. But these can be used for virtually any kind of expense related to your business. They're very, very flexible. So I would love to see a Thief River Falls business get one of these grants. So if you think you'd like more information about that, please get a hold of me after the session today. And then also the Now Innovators Network. Advanced Thief River is part of the Now Innovators Network. That's Northwest Minnesota Innovators Network, and there's a lot of resources available there. So just encourage you to check out that website, nownetworkmn.com. That's it.
Perfect. Well, let's get started then. Mike, would you like to present our first presenters, please?
Absolutely. Thank you, Angie. Today we have Darwin and Ashton Clemenston of Ashton's Mowing Service and Snow Removal. They are absolutely more than just that, but I'll let those guys tell you all about themselves. Darwin's a graduate of Lincoln High School from 1997, and Ashton is a junior at Lincoln High School, and they started their business in 2019. So I'm just going to let those boys introduce themselves and take it from here. Welcome, guys.
Hey, good morning. How are you? It all began when Ashton wanted a dirt bike and a snowcat. I was just like, Ashton, you're getting to the point where you could, start working and, start working for that kind of stuff. And it doesn't do me any good to buy your, snowcat or dirt bike. So he was like, well, Dad, can we start mowing grass? I was like, yeah, why not, And then, so then we ended up buying him a big commercial rider, and then talked to some of the friends around the surrounding area that needed some lawns mowed, like Schobergs and Parodies and stuff like that. So he started with 6 lawns, and by the end of summer, we were doing 38 yards. And
wow.
We were having a hard time getting them to town, so we had a good friend of Jeff Olson that owns Olson Construction there, and he said that we could park Ashton's mower in his shop. So when my wife would go to work, he would get a ride into Olson's there and take off with his mower for the day and go do all the lawns. So then the summer was starting to narrow down, and then we had another call from Mark Borseth and asked if we'd be interested in expanding our business into the snow removal. So I was like, oh, okay. I said, what do you got for us? So he's like, well, the Downtown Development Association and the Chamber is looking for somebody to take care of the downtown sidewalks. And I was like, oh man, that's a lot of work. But I said, yeah, I'll dig into it and see what we can do. And yeah, I got involved with those guys, and we ended up buying a little machine that sweeps all the sidewalks downtown. And that was a good turnout. People really, really liked it. It was nice to keep the sidewalks safe for everybody for walking, in the wintertime. And it was just, it worked out great. And then in 2020, right? 2020, we started getting phone calls in the spring of doing all kinds of stuff, tree trimming and doing shrubs and just all kinds of stuff. And I worked for Davidson Construction for 15 years, and I was just like, that we might be on to something here. And the one night I was going through Facebook, and I like to look for deals, on Facebook, on the marketplaces and stuff. And I ended up seeing this hydro seeding machine. So then I was like, man, Ashton, I said, this would be kind of neat to have this, on our, add on something to expand the business, plant grass for people. Well, then I scrolled down a little more and I saw a decorative curb machine. And I'm like, what is a decorative curb machine? Never heard of it in my life. So I watched a bunch of videos at night, and I was like, man, that is so neat. I really liked it. So we had some good neighbors, and we had some extra stuff. And they're like, yeah, come over to our place and try it out. Teach yourselves how to do it. So we're like, all right. So we went to the first neighbor and we started trying it out. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I wish there was a video camera going, because it was a mess. Oh, I was just like, when we got done, we were just like, I don't know if we really want to do this. It was just fast paced, and it was just, there was rocks flying everywhere. And well, I'd called the guy and asked him, what did we do wrong? Well, first, what we did wrong was we had the machines wide open, and they're only supposed to be idling. So we had rocks flying everywhere, and we could do like 15 feet of curb in like 20 seconds. And I was just sweating, and I couldn't, so we turned the machines down on the next one. And then it started coming really good. And then we were getting really good at it. So then, we ended up buying all that stuff from Langdon, North Dakota, and we started getting into that. Well, then what else did we start doing? Oh, Mosquito Minus. We got into, it's an organic spray that it keeps the mosquitoes, and flies and stuff out of your yard. So we started doing that last year, and that was a pretty good turnout. And then was January. Yeah, we bought the old Lawrence Auto Sales place there, and that became the home of Ashton's mowing service. And we ended up putting bunkers and stuff in there. So we're gonna start selling like the bulk mulch for people, and peat and black dirt, and we'll have river rock in there, and then we got into that stuff. So it just keeps adding more and more. It just people call for more things, and we just keep adding more and more stuff to do on our list. And I don't know what else to say. Then that's our journey of how this all started.
So Darwin, would you say as far as like advertising and stuff, I know I found out about you because you actually walked into my office with
Yep,
some business cards and you had that sheet, I remember, that talked about the decorative and stuff that you did. So that's how I heard about you. And then I know that I gave your card to like Redeemer to call you, and you
yep,
know, so
yeah,
is it
word of
basically
mouth.
just is it basically just word of mouth? I mean,
Word
or
of
do you
mouth,
do a lot of
yeah.
advertising?
Yeah, word of mouth is the big thing that's been helping us out a lot. And then I know we've done a few advertising here and there, but I know like the advertising on the trailers, that helps a lot too. That's a big thing on the trailers. That's like a moving billboard all over town. So,
Right.
but yeah, it's been a lot of word of mouth, a lot of word of mouth. I mean, we try to do our best on everything we do, and that gets around town like wildfire. So,
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. And then you get the return business and people asking, "Hey, who does your lawn?" or "Who does?"
right.
And I suppose.
Yep, right. No, it's been very good. It's been very good.
Well, I know that I'm excited for you guys to come over to my house because I got lots of projects for you over there. So,
Yeah, we're excited too.
does anybody else have any questions for Darwin and Ashton?
I have a question for Ashton. You're only a junior in high school, which is just totally amazing. What motivates you every day to keep your business going, do your schoolwork, and yet be a teenager?
That's a good question. I don't really, I couldn't really tell you. I guess I just try to get my homework done, and I just like to go help my dad at the shop and stuff like that. So it's yeah.
So you're enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah, I like
That's
it.
great. That's great.
Well,
Yeah.
and before this, I was talking to Darwin and Ashton, you were saying that you have you kind of run your own team.
Yep.
You've hired some people. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, my friends, we're all good friends, so they wanted like some money. So I was like, yeah, I can ask my dad to see if you guys can come and work with us. So it started with one of my friends and one friend, then it started another, and then now I have 3 friends that are working with me. Yesterday we just did all work together, so it was a good day
They
yesterday.
did a great job yesterday. Very good
Great.
job. Good
So are you
team.
in charge of doing the payroll, or is that your dad's department?
That's all him. He can do all that stuff.
Don't forget to learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you get your snowmobile or your dirt bike?
Yep.
Yep, he
Okay,
did.
that's good.
He saved up his money and bought his own stuff. Yep. Very proud of him.
I'm kind of curious. Your mosquito stuff that you spray, you said was organic.
It
Is
is.
that where is it safe for plants?
Safe for plants, animals, kids, everything. Yes. Yep. Yep. It does a very nice job. We went out to a guy's place there, and it was bad. I mean, we
Oh
couldn't
my
even get out of the
gosh.
trailer. The mosquitoes, it was just like a big net behind the door of the trailer there. And we got outside and they were just like all over us. And he's like, "See, I told you it's bad out here." I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, let's see how good this stuff works." And we went and we sprayed his whole perimeter of his place. And he called the next day and he's like, "Hey, just let you know, I'm outside in a tank top and shorts." He's like, "I haven't done this all summer long." So it
Wow.
works great. It works really good. Yep. No, it was, I was really happy. He was happy too. It lasted for about 3 weeks, he said. So, but yeah, this stuff is all organic. It doesn't hurt anything. They say you can drink it, but I'm not going to try
I won't be the guinea pig either. No.
it. So,
So Darwin, do you guys network with other people? I know you work for Davidson. Are you still in connection with those guys?
Yes, very much. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, me and Kevin are pretty close. He's a big supporter for us. I mean, he's been really good. And then, Jeff Olson and all those guys. Yeah, we all work together. I like to work with everybody. You know, I like to work with everyone. So
Well, and
that's-
I know I called Darwin because I have some projects that I wanted done around my house this weekend or this summer and stuff, and I need grass planted and all that good stuff. And Darwin, you were amazing. I mean, you were like, when I said, yeah, and I want to find somebody to do this, you were on the phone calling someone, and you know,
Yeah.
he had the connections to get people over to my house and get things started. And now that I've got some of the projects started, now that he said that they're going to my house today because they called him to come and do his part, so
Yeah.
I think it's great that you network so much with so many different people around
Yeah,
here. And
I'm very blessed to have a lot of good friends, out there. Yeah, no, it's great. So I have those connections to help people out to get their stuff done. So
right,
no, it's been great. I've been having a good time.
good.
So you got started a couple of years ago, and if someone were to ask you, this is pretty fresh for you, but what are the maybe 2 or 3 things that they should know about starting a business? If you were going to give somebody some tips, what are the
yeah.
most important lessons you've learned through this startup process?
Organize. It's hard to be organized when you get busy and you have so much stuff going on. It's hard to get organized. I write a lot of stuff down, and I even forget where I put it. It's because you're just so busy, you're going constantly. Another thing is, I know I like to do all the book work myself, but now it's to the point where I can't handle it anymore because I got so much stuff going on. A good accountant is a really another good one to have because they help you a lot. I mean, they're there to help you. So that's a big plus there too. Then let me see, what else do we struggle with? I think other than that, yeah. Help. Having employees, good employees, that's a plus too. They're out there to help you make your business grow. And but we're slowly getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, there's a lot to figure out.
Yes.
It's like drinking from a fire hose. It comes pretty
Yeah,
fast. You just got to figure it out as you go. And
Yeah.
you mentioned being organized right at the outset. Are there any tools that you've used that have helped you be organized that might be helpful to someone else?
QuickBooks, online QuickBooks, that was really good. That helped me out a lot. The first year we were just writing stuff on paper, and I was just like, this is like, it was and then you have to do it again at the end. But now QuickBooks is, you just put it in the computer and it does everything for you. It's a handy tool to have. And then, when taxes come, usually I'd spend 2-3 days doing taxes. Well, now it's just a push a button and it emails right to the accountant. Done. It's all done. You just got to keep up on your book work, but yeah, that was a big saver for us, is the QuickBooks thing. So that's a
Thanks.
deal. Yep.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys very much. I loved hearing your story, and it's neat to meet that, Ashton, you've got the drive too, and that, Darwin, you're showing him good work ethic, and that, set your mind to something and you can do it. And that's awesome to be teaching our kids. I love that.
Right. Yeah. And then I just want to shout out to like some of my friends out there that help us get going, like Davidson Construction, they're great supporters. Jeff Olson for letting us use his shop and stuff, when Ashton started. PGS, Prairie Grain Systems, Adam and Abby, they let us use their shop for a full year. They're just,
Wow.
yeah, great people. I mean, just great support. My family and friends, my family especially is great support. They're just behind us 100%, and they just keep pushing us, and so it's just good to have good friends. So,
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for telling us your story. And We're gonna go on to our next presenters, and we'll open it up for more questions afterwards. If you guys are able to stick around, that would be awesome.
Sure.
Kelsey, would you like to introduce our next presenters?
Absolutely. So our next presenters are Neil and Nicole Peterson. They own River Falls Ranch in St. Hilaire, Minnesota. They are third and fourth generation family operated working farm. And I've gotten to know Nicole and know that she's very passionate about what she does, and she's so interesting to listen to. So yeah, she also, is very knowledgeable and has, she did a class at Elevate and was teaching the kids and stuff. And so yeah, we are really excited to have you here with us and excited to hear your story.
Well, thanks for having us. We really appreciate the opportunity to share.
She'll do most of the talking.
Well, and I will share, being Mike kind of shared about the Clemensons, is that both Neil and I also graduated from Lincoln High School. We're not going to share our years like they did, but we're older. That's good. And so far, 4 of our 5 children have graduated from Lincoln High School as well. So we're rooted in this community, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. This is really a good opportunity for us to kind of revisit how far we've come. I guess I learned a lot in this process myself, because I looked back at records, and I don't often look back at records. They're kind of just there in case I need them. And we started in 2011, was basically the start. It wasn't a business when we started it. We literally tore down a building on our farm, and there was good dirt there. And so we had a 50 by 60 foot garden, and we threw some seed in the ground, and in spite of us, it grew. And then we had way more than we could use and eat. And at that time, Kim Swanson was at the extension office, and Neil was in there, and she said, well, bring it to farmer's market and sell it. And seriously, we went to farmer's market, and I'm not kidding. I really think the first couple of years we were at the farmer's market, people just pity bought from us because it was bad. We were not, oh my gosh. When I think about how we started and where we are now, I just want to cry, because I'm like, I'm sure they thought, those 2 ding dongs, what are they doing?
Well, you have to realize that Nicole learned all her gardening skills from her mother.
Which my mom does not do. My mom used a lawnmower to weed the garden. So that, yeah, it was a total learning experience for me. Neil had a great set of parents. However, my parents were very good with business. My mom ran a successful business in Thief River, Anderson Realty, and my father had Anderson Power and Equipment in the Hardware Hank store for many, many years. So we did have good mentors there. From there on, we kind of took off. The next year, 2012, we tilled up we live on Neil's parents and grandparents' farm. And so the second year, we tilled up Grandma Maxine's old garden spot. And so that added a 60 by 110 garden. So we had those 2 gardens, and we did the whole farmers market season. We were pretty excited. We made it through the whole season. In 2013, then we still had those 2 gardens, and we started doing value added products, salsas, jams, jellies, those kinds of things. In 2014, then we added our first high tunnel. If you're not familiar what a high tunnel is, ours are 26 feet wide by 96 feet long and 12 inches high. It's
12 feet high.
12 feet high. Sorry, everything's feet. See, I'm tired. And it's covered with a big, huge piece of plastic that helps us extend the season on the front end and on the back end. It has allowed us to put strawberries in and keep them protected from bugs and weather, mostly weather. Rain is not good for strawberries. Makes them mushy. So that was kind of a big thing that we did there. In 2015, we added a second high tunnel, which really helped. And we added 2 acres of outside gardens at that point in time. That was, oh yes, and in 2015 we planted asparagus, which when you plant asparagus you have to wait 2 years to harvest it. So those are some things that you don't know when you're starting to grow, but then you learn. In 2016 we started our first CSA, and what CSA is, it's called Community Supported Agriculture. We offer so many spots a year, and each week, well, you pay ahead of time. In fact, everyone's paying kind of right now. I was just getting a few last checks in the mail this week. They pay ahead of time, and then each week for 10 weeks during the season, they get a box of vegetables of whatever is available in season. They don't get to pick. It's pre-boxed. This is what you get, and that's been a really good thing. We do it 10, like I said, 10 weeks.
10
There's
weeks.
others in the area that do it longer. That's what works for us. We still have one in high school, and we're busy and running with him, and so that's what works good for us. It's also a little seed money at the beginning of the year, and literally it is seed money because I spend it on buying all the seeds that I buy. Also in 2016, we added 3 more acres of gardens outside, and it was our very first year. If you've ever been in front of Hometown Realty, where the pumpkin trailer is, that's our pumpkin trailer. 2016 was the first year we did this, and we had a teeny tiny trailer. And we bolted a box on there, and people just self-pay, and it went crazy. And
it was a single axle trailer. Darn, you know how that goes, pulling that down the road in the middle of the night. Yeah, that was quite an adventure for a couple of years.
yeah, so we used that one for a couple of years. And then in 2017, we were so excited. We had our first asparagus harvest, and that went over very well. 2018, we added a 3rd high tunnel. And those are a lot of work. We build them ourselves. We hire someone out to do the leveling work and make sure everything's all square and level, and then we construct them ourselves. So it's been I've been learning engineering, I've been learning construction, I've been learning planting. It's kind of crazy. We also then in 2018 upgraded our trailer because that was a pretty teeny tiny trailer that we were using at the beginning. And so the trailer we have now, we call the big pumpkin trailer. And then 2019, we added a 4th high tunnel. We also started setting up on Wednesday nights in front of Hometown Realty to sell, in addition to Saturday mornings at the farmer's market. And that's been a good thing. That's also the day that we have our CSA customers stop and pick up their CSA boxes on that evening. And we launched a website in 2019, and I had no clue what I was doing with it, so I did not much with it. However, in 2020, the world changed. The world changed big time. And I started telling people, hey, we have this website you could order vegetables on. You can pay with your credit card, you can pay it cash when you pick up. And it totally changed. It's totally changed what we do and how we do it.
Yeah, before we never, once fall hit October, we were done. Business pretty much stopped. Now we still deliver
weekly
into town
every
in
Wednesday.
canned goods.
There's always someone ordering canned goods, even throughout the kind of our what we called our dead season. We haven't really had a dead season we haven't been dead since I think February of 2019. It's just been steady, which has been a really good thing for our farm. And then we also added 5 more acres of outside garden last year as well. We have a lot of outside. Much of that is taken up with squash and pumpkins. Pumpkins are a huge part of what we do, and I think it's because lots of people like to decorate and create make jack-o'-lanterns, and we literally just pull that trailer in, set it up in front of Hometown Realty. And last year, I think, Angie, correct me if I'm wrong, they were calling you early.
Oh yeah.
Ask if the trailer was out, and I'm like, oh, they're not ready. So So we feel like we've kind of hit that niche right there with the pumpkins. And people do, I always have people say, oh, we got pumpkins from you. Even like at Christmas time, they're telling me about their pumpkins. So that's been kind of fun. We haven't really had like official mentors except for like my parents and what you remember from your parents. But I will say at Farmers Market, I don't know if any of you remember Roger Thunberg. He was an amazing guy. He would come every Saturday and he'd say, now kids, you remember, if you're not growing, you're dying. And I think he told us that every Saturday. And we love him dearly and we miss him dearly. But it's a good thing to know for your little business that if you're not growing, you're dying. And it kind of fit with what we did too. So that's kind of.
You know, and another thing that, you know, we hear from Cecil, and I think Darwin's living it too. If you gotta let your business grow your business. I mean, that's a key thing, you know, just let your business keep growing and keep growing your business.
Yeah. I can honestly say the success that we've had is due to the relationships we have. Angie was talking with Darwin about advertising. We don't do a lot of advertising other than social media. We have Facebook and we have Instagram because that's about all I can keep up with. I'm not even very good at those on our River Falls Ranch page in the winter because there isn't a whole lot going on. But we do that, and then we're kind of out and about, and literally the relationships we make through the community, through the things we're involved in. Like Kelsey said, she kind of heard about it. We sometimes are in the same CrossFit class, and that's kind of where I've talked with Kelsey. Those kinds of things. Also, I can just say our customers are amazing. We have the most amazing customers. In fact, one time we even got a sample from a customer. She had showed this recipe on her page, and I had said, hey, I really like that. Can you drop me off the recipe on Saturday? And not only did she bring me the recipe because it was full of vegetables, she brought me a sample. So like I say, we have the best customers, the absolute best. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, I mean, this is this takes up a lot of time this summertime, plus the 1,000 acres that we do farm and everything else that we're doing, running to meetings and other jobs that we try to maintain in the summertime also. And, it's always nice to have help. We've been very fortunate to have Nicole's dad help our kids, and we're out of cows now. So I guess that means we have to increase the vegetables a little bit more. So, yeah.
I'm not sure what else you want from us, but that's
great.
In a nutshell.
You've had quite the journey from where you started to where you are now, because obviously I've known you my whole life pretty much, but seeing your transition to how you are now versus even when you started, even your CSA boxes. I was, I did your CSA your first year that you had it, and your first year of trying to figure it out to where you're at now.
Yes, like I said, we have amazing customers. See, she's still talking to me. Like every time you start something, it's kind of a learning process. And actually, the CSA started because I had a couple customers ask me to do it. I was very hesitant. It's still a very nerve-wracking thing for me because I don't really want things to be nice and I want people's expectations to be met. And so that was really our learning year, and we have really fine-tuned it since then. And I'm glad we kind of stuck with it. We are just about full for this year. I think we have one spot left. So I kind of limit that because I am so particular. Maybe I shouldn't be.
And every week it's a challenge. What are we going to put in the box this week? And every week I don't think you have anything ready, and every week there's always something ready.
Or more.
You might get a lot of something, and it might be something that you have to, something different.
Well, and you usually either post recipes or sometimes you put recipes in with the box too.
I do every week. I put a little newsletter in the CSA boxes about what's in their box. I include at least 2 recipes of how to use some of the things in their box. And I usually try to give them a heads up for what's coming up. A lot of people will just take that box with them to the lake. And that's why we do Wednesday nights. so that they can get whatever groceries they need on Thursday and Friday before they take off, or if they're leaving Thursday night, that gives them Thursday to gather whatever. If there's some recipe they want to try and they don't have all the ingredients, at least they have a day or two to get those. That's kind of how that works. With the CSA, we have an agreement. You pay up front, and you take as much as. Farming is risky. We are a little different than like some service businesses or some retail businesses, because you get your product in and you have your product. We have to produce the product that we're selling, and that's kind of weather dependent. So sometimes things grow really good and sometimes they don't. It's just what happens. Or I might get seeds that don't germinate as well as they did last year. And so when they sign that membership agreement, they understand that they are part of the risk, but they are also part of the bounty. And you know, if we have crop failure with beets, you won't get any beets this year. Otherwise, if we have abundance of beets, you'll get an abundance of beets. That's kind of how it works, and that's what everybody agrees to at the beginning of this season.
Right. So what you said that, I mean, I know that you and I have talked several times about this, about your website, and I kind of helped, you know, troubleshoot when it was first starting. I mean, that was an awesome idea. You don't hear that a lot or see that a lot of farmers that have a website that you can order from. So what got you started with that?
Honestly, this company, it's called Barn to Door. That's the company. And if you look on our website, it says Barn to Door on there, as well as riverfallsranch.com. They contacted us and said, hey, we saw your Facebook page. You have beautiful produce. You have great pictures. You look like a client that could really use this. And so I said, okay, what pitch is this? Well, then I started talking with them more, and it's beautiful. It was so sweet. They set it all up. I just sent them the pictures. And from working at the Realty, I work with Angie at Hometown Realty, and I worked at Anderson Realty when my mother was the broker. I know how expensive websites are, and this one was very reasonable. This is the niche that website company fits, and it really fit what we do. You can go online, you can order, like I said, you can pay with credit card. It's simple. I can use it from my phone out in the field to update inventory. Yeah, that's how we got started in it. And at first I was hesitant, but then I was so glad we had it once COVID hit, because that was the way to go. People would drive up on Wednesday nights and I'd hand them their bag, and they can pick up at farmer's market. We are trying to get a place in Red Lake Falls set up for a drop site, so that we can expand to that area. That's just because we have a website. I don't think we would be thinking about that if we didn't.
And one of the things that helps us at the farmers market is probably 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, we Nicole got a Square reader for her phone, and we were able to take credit and debit cards, and that really helps.
We've tried to diversify this little, what we do in agriculture terms is called specialty crops. That's what we do, is we do the specialty crops. And then with that, we try to diversify into some of those jams and jellies and the canned goods and the value added things. I also dehydrate things for sale too. So we just kind of try to make it all work.
I've been trying to get her a bus driving job for a couple of years, but she won't take it.
Bring your vegetables along your route.
Yeah.
Neil and Nicole, I just have to say, I am so impressed by so many things that you shared today and so many of the things that you said. It's just been delightful hearing your story. One of the things I guess I would it's just a kind of a simple question, but I see you both as very entrepreneurial. I mean, there's just new things coming all the time, and you can hear that as you're listening to your story. So what do you enjoy most about being an entrepreneur?
Do you want to answer that first, and then I can?
Well, I'd say number one, Michelle, it's the people we meet. I've always been self-employed, so this is the next step. I've been farming since 1979. So this is something new, This is it's really a learning experience for both of us, from someone that said she was never going to marry a farmer to now she is one, to learning. And there's not a lot of information here for vegetable growers in this part of the community. I mean, I work with an agronomist for my grain crops, and a vet for when we had cattle. You know, those people, they knew but nobody knows vegetables. We had a great one at the extension in Howard Pearson. You know, he's gone now, but you know, he was that was probably my mentor for that. But yeah, it's mainly it's the people we meet.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is it's the relationships. It's all the relationships. I'm surprised when I run into people in, you know, like in the dead of January, and they're like, oh, we can't wait to see you this spring. And they're all excited, and that gets me a little more excited too. I like that. One thing I don't think that people realize, though, also with an agriculture based business, is that normal businesses, retail, those kinds of things, they kind of have a steady upward growth. That's very typical. In an agriculture-based type of business, it's more like steps. You're very flat for a few years, and then you'll have a big jump, and then you'll be flat, and then you'll have a big jump, and then you'll be flat. And that is what we have totally found to be 100% true with our business. So we kind of feel like we're doing the right things in the right sequence to keep that. It's hard when you stay flat for a couple of years. It gets to be a struggle, and that's kind of why I think we just kind of try to keep things new and different around here.
Yeah, and we're, you know, back to what Cecil said, we're letting the business grow our business. We have the 5th high tunnel is sitting in the shed ready to be put up once we can get the ground prepped.
It's
Wow.
a mental illness. I swear, it's a mental illness.
Well, I'm hearing persistence and
Yeah.
people and
I call it grit, but you can call it persistence. I'm like, I just have to grit myself through this. Yeah.
And the people element, I think we, you know, sometimes we forget about in business, but literally, you know, we're selling stuff, whether it's services or products, to people. And so, you know, the better as businesses we can connect to people and understand the importance and the power of people, I think the more success there are. You guys are living proof of that.
The other thing I would, if someone's starting one, is try and make some other business connections. Like, okay, my mother owned Anderson Realty and Angie purchased it. And so I was like, Angie, can I still set up in your parking lot? And she's like, yes, absolutely. It benefits us because we have a place to set up during the week. It benefits her because she gets a lot of free advertising with our customers. Because I'm always saying, hey, we're at Hometown Realty. Hey, we're at Hometown Realty. Hey, we're at Hometown Realty. And it gets them to stop in our parking lot. Finding those, especially in our small community, we have to partner together. We have to. We're just too small. We are not big. No one can do it alone here. And that's, I think we've been pretty good. We've been asked many times. We did set up in front of Total Betty one time. They called and asked if we would do that. And we've set up in front of Michael's Meats. We just, you know, we can't do it all the time because we don't have any employees yet. So it's a lot of time on our hands to go and set up or away from doing some work here. But we try. That's kind of how that works. And just so everybody knows too, I did not start, my father worked in agriculture, but yeah, I was never going to marry a farmer. And I actually taught school for 16 years before I switched and did some other things and then fell into this. So that's what I think. I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs that do that start off with one thing and then end up finding something else.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think that's important for people to understand too, that it's okay. And, you know, I know that last month we talked a lot about that a lot of people try a lot of different things before they find what actually works for them. And that's okay. I mean, you learn something every step of the way, you know? So does anybody else have any questions for Neil and Nicole? Nope. Okay. So we are going to do a couple of giveaways. We like to have prizes. Beth, do you want to do the first giveaway of the mugs?
Oh, sure. So we've started doing a little thing we call entrepreneur trivia. And so one of the things that both of our presenters spoke about today was the learning process of starting out with certain services, products, and continuing to add year after year and to see that growth. And of course, the learning that comes with that. And so Nicole mentioned that one of the things that they expanded to include was a plant that requires protection from the rain. Does anyone remember which one she mentioned?
Strawberry.
All right, Vanessa, you got it already. Strawberries, very good. So if you, Vanessa, want to swing over to Hometown Realty, pick up one of our really cool Trek mugs. Also want to give a shout out to Hometown Realty, both Angie and Nicole. Hometown Realty is our sponsor for this month, and we thank you both very much for your commitment to Trek.
Yes, you're welcome. One other giveaway that we're going to do there, you can win one of our cool mugs, is if you have a glass or a mug that you're using right now, to make sure your video is on, and hold up your mugs. And Beth, you want to pick the coolest mug?
Mine's pretty plain. All right, let's see. Oh goodness, there's so many. All right, Gail, I love the turtles. Got to go with the turtles.
Perfect. So Gail, you too, if you want to stop by Hometown Realty, we're at 601 Main Avenue North. And you can stop and pick up a Trek mug. And what else? I think that's it. So if nobody has any more questions for anyone.
Angie, can I share one last thing?
Yeah.
I'm going to read something. I have it poster size on my dining room wall. This is called the Holste Manifesto. I don't know if any of you have heard of that. You can look it up at holste.com. I ran across this about the time we started this business, and it's not biblical, but it has some good truths, and I'd like to share it because I think entrepreneurs will understand this. It starts off like this. It says, "This is your life. Do what you love and do it often. If you don't like something, change it. If you don't like your job, quit. If you don't have enough time, stop watching TV. Now it's old. Okay, put down your phone. If you are looking for the love of your life, stop. They will be waiting for you when you start doing things you love. Stop overanalyzing. Life is simple. All emotions are beautiful. When you eat, appreciate every last bite. Open your mind, arms, and heart to new things and people. We are united in our differences. Ask the next person you see what their passion is and share your inspiring dream with them. Travel often. Getting lost will help you find yourself. Some opportunities only come once. Seize them. Life is about the people you meet and the things you create with them. So go out and start creating. Life is short. Live your dream and share your passion." That's all I have.
I love it. What a great way to end the meeting. Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you so much, Neil, Darwin, Ashton. I appreciate everything. Next month, May 4th, our presenters are going to be Michelle Westerman with the Legacy Event Center and Scott Ingram from the Ingram Candy Store. And we will be via Zoom again next month. And then we'll play it by ear, but we're hoping June will be back in person. So again, thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Trek on.
Thanks.